Hey, how are y'all doing? This is Chris with Bama Law, and I am trying to figure my stuff out here. Hang on one second. Bear with me. I apologize. I thought I had it set up. I do not. I'm not hearing audio through my earphones. I figured it out. Hang on. That should fix it. Hang on. Okay. How are y'all doing tonight? I know the last time I did a video, we did it on whether the TROs that were going around, there's starting to become a lot of them that are flying. They're flying like manure, whether or not they were legal or not. And I think I made my stance fairly well known. I'm not going to do this for very long. Try to get this in and out before the sun goes down. What are we doing in these deportations or requests for involuntary leave? How are they occurring? Or what are they occurring pursuant to? And it goes to the alien enemies that's been declared an alien enemy. For instance, in 1812, we did it to the British. So anyone that was a Brit had to leave. They had to suffer. They had to get out and go. They were kicked out. We did it also in World War I, the Great War. We did it in World War II as well. Anybody that was there that was an enemy of our country had to leave. We revoked it. So these guys have been the trendy Arugulas, as my little cute picture I hope shows up. It's what I think of them. Little trendy Arugulas, little pieces of lettuce, have been declared a terrorist group and are an enemy of the United States. Therefore, it triggers that act. Now, where does the act go to? Let's see. Make sure I got the tab right. I do. The Alien and Sedition Act of 1798. I'm not going to be able to use my highlighter, but we'll just use this. In 1798, the United States stood on the brink of war with France. Why was that? Because of Robespierre and the terror, as it was known, the terror. The French government, if you didn't call someone Citizen Jean-Pierre, and you just said, "How you doing, Jean-Pierre?" You were probably going to get thrown in jail and probably guillotined. If they thought you were any kind of a bourgeoisie type person, it's very similar to communist. It's very similar, in fact. In fact, the principles underlying the French Republic, égalité, liberté, everybody wants liberty, egalitarianism, everybody's going to be made equal. These are principles, though, that governments can't force, okay? But they did. They tried to. It ended up with Robespierre ultimately being executed and Napoleon taking over. But at this time, the Federalists were in control, and the Democrat Republicans under Jefferson were the minority. Not much, but they were. And these passed more as a means to stop them from talking bad about them. You have a lot of cases where they tried to use it to shut up a anti-federalist type paper or a group. It's not really been used except for a few times, and it's only really in for the use of ejecting a non-citizen. Okay. So the Federalists passed this law. It was much to the chagrin of Jefferson and the Anti-Federalists, but it passed in 1798. And as we're reading here, I want to make sure this is working because my luck is it won't be. Yeah, my mic's working too. Thank God. I'm actually using not only new earphones and a mic, I am trying to dual stream, and it says we're up. Cool. I am shocked. Yep, and we're good. In 1798, the U.S. was on brink of war with France. The Federalist Party advocated a strong central government, believed the Democratic Republican criticism of the Federalist policies was disloyal and feared that aliens or non-citizens living in the U.S. would sympathize with the French during the war. As a result, Federalist-controlled Congress passed 4 laws known as the Alien and Sedition Act. This raised residency requirements for citizenship, which, by the way, was done by the states. I've made this comment many times in other videos. The states were the arbiters up until 1906, relatively. I think it's 1906. Yeah. Arbiters of citizenship. That's just how it rolled. If you ever find someone's citizenship papers from prior to that, it's gonna say, the one that I have seen was a guy in Birmingham. Last name was Denneberg. He started a jewelry store in Birmingham, Alabama, and he came over and it said literally in the Circuit Court of Mobile County or the state of Alabama, citizenship. And how does that fit in? Because at the time, and even up until 1906, the states were the ones in control. And even to this day, the states have acquiesced it, but they're still in the amendment, still in quasi control. At least I think that, just my opinion. And we'll go to the 14th Amendment. All persons born or naturalized, and this I've covered too in the Kim Wong Ark case, which I believe too. Yes, there is birthright citizenship for lawful residents, children, not illegals. That's my red line. All persons born or naturalized in the U.S. subject to jurisdiction thereof, meaning they have to acquiesce, they're not going home, are citizens of the U.S. and of the state in where they reside. So even after this amendment, although it connotates that the U.S. is the one doing the citizenship status, that's not how it worked. The states did until a certain point. Now, back to the Alien and Sedition Act. So at the time, there was the ability for the federal government to set timeline requirements as to how long someone should have to be here before they could get citizenship, etc. But the state was the one that finally said, "We don thee a citizen of the state of Georgia. You're good," and thereby, by fiat, you become a citizen of these United States. Okay. So, with that all said, and hope that's not as clear as mud. These laws raised the residency requirements of citizenship from 5 to 14 years, authorized the president to deport aliens, permitted their arrest, imprisonment, and deportation during wartime. The Sedition Act made it a crime for American citizens to print, utter, or publish any false, scandalous, or malicious writing. That I have an issue with on a First Amendment basis, which most of it, I don't know of any cases offhand that was ever prosecuted under this act for this purpose. I just don't. I don't think it would have survived. We have a First Amendment right. The laws were directed against Democrat Republicans, the party that typically favored by new citizens. The only journalists prosecuted under the act were editors of the Democratic Republican newspapers. Sedition Act trials, along with the Senate's use of contempt powers to suppress dissent, set off a firestorm of criticism against the Federalists and contributed to their defeat in the election of 1800, which would be when President Jefferson took over. All right. Here is the actual act. And this is what Trump is using, the Alien Enemies Act. This is it. This is part of it. And it goes back this far. An act concerning aliens, Section 1. Be it enacted by the state or the Senate and the House of Representatives in these United States and Congress assembled and lawful, it should be lawful for the President of these United States at any time during the continuance of this act to order all such aliens he shall judge dangerous to the peace and safety of these United States, or shall have reasonable grounds to suspect they are concerned in any treasonable or secret machinations against the government thereof, to depart out of the territory of these United States within such time shall be expressed in such order, which Trump did, which was now. He was like, now, you shall leave now. Which order shall be served on such alien by delivering a copy thereof. They did that too. just like they did with the firing of the federal employees. They each got an email, or leaving the same in his usual abode. Their abode was the prison in Texas. They were in Tejas in prison, ready to be sent out, and returned to the office of the Secretary of State by the marshal or other person who the same shall be directed. Any alien so ordered to depart shall be found that shall be found at large within the United States after the time limited in order such departure, and not having obtained a license from the president. This is all presidential authority. Yet we have yet to see the word court. I don't see it anywhere. It's not here. Court is not here. President to reside therein, or after having obtained such license, shall not have conformed thereto. Every such alien shall, on conviction thereof, be imprisoned for a term not exceeding 3 years, and shall never, never, ever, 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 never, ever, after be admitted to become a citizen of these United States. So it's showing this act has it's plenary authority by the president. The president has plenary authority. That's it. He's it. No judge. That's it. So Trump is using this act to deport those people. And this is just the original act. I mean, I'm not even getting into the part where we're at war with someone, which he's already declared that as well. So under this act, it's still the law of the land. He can kick your butt out of the country. That's it. You're gone. You are gone. So long as what I just said is adhered to, and he finds that you may be either an enemy of the state due to war, treason, secret machinations against the government thereof. I don't know what else Trendy Arugula has to do other than to take over apartments, cities. How about states? At what point do we have to sit there and make an acknowledgement that this is a little bit of an issue? Let's go on. Provided always, and be it further enacted, that if any alien so ordered to depart shall prove the satisfaction of the president, not a court, the president, not a damn federal judge, period, by evidence to be taken before such person or persons as the president shall direct, who are for that purpose authorized to administer oaths, usually the justice of the peace at the time, in probably Washington, D.C. They still had them, that no injury or danger to the United States will arise from such suffering alien to reside therein. The president may grant a license or a waiver to such alien for them to remain. It's his baby. He makes the choice. This is his deal. Article 3 being the courts, cannot supersede an Article 2 power. Congress has specifically given this to an Article 2 branch. They could have easily said, well, let's let the judges figure it out. No, that's not what they did. They did Article 2. President may also require such alien to enter into a bond. Condition for the good, and also be conditioned on the good behavior of such alien during his residence in the U.S., not violating his license, which license the president may revoke. Again, plenary. The president may revoke whenever he shall think proper. He shall think proper. Not a federal judge. Not this asshat. Where is it? James Boasberg. This guy, this asshat, thinks he runs the second branch of government. He thinks they're in control of both branches. Just him, Article 3 courts, and Congress. No president. Just him. He should be impeached and removed and disbarred yesterday. Further, it be enacted, it should be lawful for the president, whenever he may deem necessary for public safety, remove any alien who may or shall be in prison in pursuance of this. For the public safety to be to order to be removed out of the territory thereof any alien who may or shall be in prison in pursuance of this act, to be caused to be arrested and sent out of the United States, such as those aliens as shall have been ordered to depart and shall not have obtained a license aforesaid. Basically, if you don't get your license, get the hell out. And if any alien so removed or sent out of the U.S. by the president voluntarily return back, unless permission granted by the president, they on conviction shall be imprisoned so long as the public safety may require by the president's opinion. Let that sink in. And no other time do we say, oh, well, they can put him in prison for as long as they want. That's not a problem. This act says it. Sugar Pepsi. I'm not drinking the damn corn syrup crap. Section 3. Every master or commander of a ship or vessel coming to any port the first day of July next shall immediately upon his arrival make a report in writing to the collector or to the chief officer of the customs of all aliens, if any, on board his vessel, specifying their names, age, the place of nativity, the country from which they come, etc., etc. It shall be the duty of such collector of the officer of the customs, that would be our border patrol now, forthwith transmit to the officer of the Department of State, which is still who takes care of it, Marco Rubio, still how it works, true copies of such all returns. The circuit and district courts of the United States shall respectively have cognizance of all crimes and offenses against this act. All marshals and other officers of these United States are required to execute all precepts and orders of the president issued in pursuance by virtue of this act. That it shall be lawful for any alien who may be ordered to be removed to take with him such good chattels, it's personal property, or other property he may find convenient, and all property left in the United States by any alien has been removed, may remain subject to his order and disposal in the same manner as if this act had not been passed, meaning he can get his stuff back. We're not trying to steal it. This act shall continue to be enforced during the term of 2 years from passing thereof. Thomas Jefferson, Vice President of the United States. Okay. That was in 1798. And it was signed by John Adams. Now, as far as this was just for aliens. Okay, this is just aliens. That's all it was. Now we're going to go further. We're going to go a little deeper. A little deeper dive. We're going to go a little deeper dive. Okay. An act respecting alien enemies. This is what Trump has fixated on, and I think I just don't see him not winning. I just don't. I'm sorry. You might not like it. If you don't, suffer. I don't care. This is it. Change the damn law. Be it enacted by the Senate and House of Representatives of the United States and Congress assembled, whenever a war be declared between the U.S. and any foreign nation or government, or any invasion or predatory incursion shall be attempted, perpetrated, or threatened against the territory of the United States by any foreign nation or government, and the President of these United States shall make public proclamation of the event, all natives, citizens, denizens, or subjects of the hostile nation or government, being males of at least 14 age or older, who shall be within the U.S. and not actually naturalized. Remember, it doesn't apply to a naturalized citizen. They're the exact same as me or you, assuming that you were born here and you have full citizenship. Shall be liable to be apprehended, which the trendy Arugulas were apprehended. We've caught them. They're not hard to find. It's kind of like MS-13. What does that look like? The jackass with his face tattooed all up and his eyeballs are all tattooed. It's not freaking difficult. They've got tattoos everywhere. Okay, I'm just saying. They should be apprehended, restrained, secured, and removed as enemy aliens. That is what Trump has done. This is what these asshat judges, activists are trying to stop. They don't have the authority under the act. It's still in existence. It's still here. We haven't ever gotten rid of it. It's been used for, I know for a fact, 3 times. War of 1812 against British citizens. The Great War would be number 2. I was trying to remember in 1812 they called it the UK or not. I think it was just Great Britain. Those 2 wars, and then finally the Second World War. 3 times. This is number 4. It doesn't have to be. Look, I don't know what else you would call these people that are coming in by the millions, and they're criminals and they're killing people. They're invading us, and they're an organized group sent here by a foreign country, literally sent by Venezuela. They are an enemy of ours, terrorist groups. There's nothing else the president has to do except that. No judge has the authority to even get into the matter of it. The president of the United States shall be and is hereby authorized in any event by proclamation to direct the conduct to be observed on the part of the United States toward the aliens who shall become liable, the manner and degree of restraint which they'll be subject, in other words, how they're going to put them in jail, and in what cases and upon what security their residence shall be permitted. In other words, if they are there, whether or not they're going to be arrested or allowed to stay. The end. I just had a brain fart. And to provide for the removal of those who, not being permitted to reside within the U.S., shall refuse or neglect to depart therefrom. Excuse me, and it shall and to establish any other regulations which shall be found necessary in the premises, and for the public safety, provided that aliens resident within the U.S. who shall become liable as enemies and the aforesaid shall not be chargeable with actual hostility or crimes against the public safety shall be allowed for the recovery, disposal, and removal of their goods, meaning they can come get their stuff. The full time which or shall be stipulated by any treaty between the United States and the hostile government. In other words, they can come get their stuff. They can still get it. We're not taking your stuff. We're not doing what the Nazis did, and we're not taking you and your shit. We're not doing it. That's not what's happening here. I sound like Nick Ricada on here. Can't breathe. Allergies. Section 2, be further enacted that after any proclamation shall be aforesaid, it shall be the duty of the several courts of these United States, of each state, having criminal jurisdiction, and of the several judges and justices of the courts of the United States. Remember, the Justice of the Supreme Court, there was only a few. There's only one created by the Constitution. The Judiciary Act of 1789 created them. I think it's either 3 or 5 we had to start with. Those guys rode what's called the circuit. So they weren't always in Washington. No. They were riding the circuit, and they each had one. And so they would ride that circuit and then go back to the Supreme Court to hear cases, finally in D.C. It was a little bit of a problem. That's why we had the Judiciary Act created, because a little bit much, that's a lot of work. It shall be the duty of the several courts in the United States, each having criminal jurisdiction, of the several judges and justices of the courts. They shall be and are hereby respectively authorized upon complaint against any alien or alien enemies who shall be resident and at large, meaning we're looking for them. We can't find them. What's up? To the danger of public safety, and contrary to the tenor or intent of such proclamation and other regulations which the President of the U.S. shall and may establish in the premises to cause such alien to be duly apprehended and convene, basically a warrant. Send out law enforcement and go get him, go get her. Before judge or justice, and after a full examination and hearing on such complaint, sufficient cause thereof appearing, shall and may order such alien to be removed out of the territory, or to give sureties for their behavior. Now, we can read that again. It shall be the duty of the several courts. Now, that's going to say, people are going to say, well, that shows right there that the court's only talking about those that they can't find, and they're in the jurisdiction. And also, I'm not sure, it just says resident. It doesn't say lawful resident at that, because it's even applied to lawful residents. If you weren't naturalized, you got it. I mean, you're gone. That's it. You're gone. So the one side is arguing, well, hey, we get a right to a hearing. Yeah, I can see that for a green card holder. Absolutely. They have a right they can buy a gun. They have every right. They don't have a right when they're not, especially illegal. They definitely don't have that right. But this is the law that Trump is using. It's the Alien Enemies Act. He's declared them a terrorist organization. They're an enemy. They got to go. They got to go. and it's his authority to do so. It even states it. Be it further enacted that it should be the duty of the marshal of the district, it's the U.S. Marshal, of the district in which any alien enemy shall be apprehended, who by the President of these United States or by order of any court, judge, or justice, as aforesaid, shall be required to depart and remove, to provide therefore and to execute such order by himself or his deputy, or basically anybody under him, by causing removal of such alien out of the territory of the United States, and for such removal, the marshal shall have the warrant of the President of these United States or of the court, judge, or justice ordering the same. In other words, the president could do it or any of the courts. Your ass is gone. You're not staying. Sorry. Approved July 6, 1798. Now, Jefferson, when they got in, they did amend it a little bit, but nothing that changes that. Again, it was used in the War of 1812, the Great War, the Second World War. And this is just, this is talking about for the punishment of crimes against the United States. But that's the major act. Okay, that's the major act. So let's go. That's for the Alien Sedition Act. Let's look at the Naturalization Act of 1798. On June 18th, 1798, law was passed by the Congress to amend the residency and notice periods of the previous Naturalization Act. Remember, they had to have so much time in a state to become a citizen of that state and of these United States. Okay. All right. It increased the period of residence necessary for aliens to become naturalized citizens from 5 to 14 years. And the declaration of intention from 3 to 5. Although the law was passed under the guise of protecting national security, most historians concede it was really designed to increase or to decrease number of citizens and thus voters who disagree with the Federalist Party. That's probably true. The same could be argued now. The Democratic Party is 10, 20 million people illegally. Will they count in the census? Well, hell yeah, they're. I mean, if it was the other shoe on the other foot, and I'm in control of it, and I'm a Republican in control of it, yeah, maybe if I'm dirty, yeah, maybe I will do that. Hell yeah, I'm never going to have to worry about losing another election. We win, hands down. Even if they don't vote, we win. It had only limited effect. At the time, most immigrants, and I've said this before, were supported by supported Thomas Jefferson, Democratic Republicans, the rivals of the Federalists. It had only a limited effect, as many immigrants rushed to become naturalized before the act went into effect, and states could at the time make their own more lenient naturalization laws. As I said, the states were the arbiters until about 1906. So, yes, California could have made illegals legal. Unfortunately for them, that is not the case anymore. The states gave up their rights because they do it. They've done it since 1865. They have just cut their own nuts off and handed it to the federal government and said, you can do whatever you want with us. We'll be good little subjects. That's a problem. But in this case, it's actually, I'm kind of glad it happened, because otherwise we wouldn't be able to get rid of these people. The act was controversial at the time, as many Federalists feared it would discourage immigration. It was repealed in 1802 by the Naturalization Law of 1802, which restored the residency and notice periods of the previous Nationalization Act. What's going on with I hope y'all can hear me. I think so. Yeah, the volume's better. Okay. I must have hit the volume button. So, originally in 1790, under that Naturalization Act, notice time was none. Residency was only 2 years. And then 5 years later, it became 3 years and 5, and then 5 and 14. The notice time refers to the period that immigrants had to wait after declaring their intent to become a citizen. Remember, the state still was the one that gave you that citizenship. It just happened by fiat to then be part of. That's why the 14th Amendment, which of course I closed down, says a citizen of the state in which they reside and of these United States. They knew that. They understood that. The Naturalization Act Naturalization Act of 1798 is considered one of the Alien Citizen Acts, together with three other laws passed at the same time: the Alien Friends Act, Alien Enemies Act, and Sedition Act. Like the Naturalization Act, 1790 and 95, 1798 also restricted citizenship to free white people, unfortunately. All right, let's go to the Alien Friends Act. Sounds very similar to me. Sounds very similar. But that is not the one that Trump is pushing, deporting people under. This authorized, this authorized the president to arbitrarily deport any non-citizen that was determined to be dangerous to the peace and safety of the U.S. Once a non-citizen was determined to be dangerous or was suspected of conspiring against the government, the president had the power to set a reasonable amount of time for departure. Remaining after that time could result in up to 3 years of prison. The law was never directly enforced, but was often used in conjunction with the Sedition Act to suppress criticism of the Adams administration. I believe it wasn't long after Jefferson got in, they changed it to the Alien Enemies Act. Yeah, here. It was passed to supplement it. So it granted more powers to regulate those citizens in times of war. That's why it's so important for the president to have declared the Trendy Arugulas a terrorist group. All of them, all of these pieces of garbage, human beings. I don't even know if I'd call them a human, subhumans, they're drug cartels, these gangs. If they're coming from a country outside the United States, especially if the government of that country is sending them here, the president has plenary authority to do what he needs to do under this act. It's never changed. It's been this way 250 years almost, literally. It was not allowed to expire with the other acts, and it remains in effect as Chapter 3, Sections 21 to 24 of Title 50 of the U.S. Code. James Madison invoked the act against the British nationals during the War of 1812. Wilson, piece of shit, invoked the act against nationals of the Central Powers during the World War I. 1918, an amendment to the act struck the provision restricting the law to males only. And then again, we did it in the Second World War, as I've already explained. So let's learn about these judges real quick, and I'm gonna end it. Oh, look at this. Oh crap. Am I sharing the right thing? Oh crap. I think I've lost the stream. Damn it. Why does this always happen? Yep, I've lost my I'm just sitting here talking and nobody's able to see anything. Present. Damn it. Oh, that sucks. Share screen. Let me see what's going on here with this. I may have to just kill the stream and start it over again. Come on. Let me see if that'll work. Finally. Dang gummit. I hate I missed that. Man, I'm sorry. That sucks. You got to sit there and look at my stupid ass face the whole time. And nobody cares about that. This is back again to the Naturalization Act that we had just discussed originally in 1798. The law was passed under the guise of protecting national security. As you can see here, the notice time originally in 1790 was none. Notice time in residency only 2 years. 5 years later, it became 3 and 5. And then in 98, 5 and 14. I hate that. I can't believe this thing quit streaming. That sucks. That's really annoying. Well, everything I said is still there. So if you heard it, it's there. An act concerning aliens, we covered that. This one is respecting alien enemies. This is the text here. You can get to it by www.archives.gov/milestone document /alien-and-sedition-acts. It's right up here. You can get to it. And it'll go over all of the enemy alien acts. Now, here's our trendy Arugulas that have come in. Nice guys on their way into El Salvador. Oh, it looks like a nice prison, doesn't it? Nice and clean. Oh, I bet it's so nice for them. Look at their little white boxers and white t-shirts. They're all matching, just like gang members should. They should all match. They can suffer, folks. They can suffer Federal judge sharply, and this is from the 17th, so I don't know, 4 days ago, sharply questioned the Trump administration Monday about its decision to rush 3 planes carrying Venezuelan nationals, whom Venezuela sent here and is in a terrorist group, out of U.S. airspace under Donald Trump's unprecedented, oh my goodness, it's unprecedented, folks, invocation of wartime deportation powers against a criminal gang. James I'm not even going to say it. I'm going to say it right. Boasberg, the chief judge of the federal district court in Washington, was clearly galled. He was galled. Oh my goodness. You can't do this, people. You just can't do it. I make the calls here, folks. He was galled by the government's actions and legal arguments, particularly its assertion that an order he issued Saturday to turn around planes once in the air had no force after they were outside the U.S. That's called extra. That's so stupid. This guy's a moron. He's a political hack and he's a retard. That's extraterritorial jurisdiction, and you don't have it. Or you just don't have it. Or extrajudicial jurisdiction. It ends at the border. I mean, that's how this works. You know, if I commit an unaliving in Vietnam, as long as I haven't conspired with anyone here, I'm only prosecutable in Vietnam. That's it. Not in the United States. They can't do that. A lot of countries don't. They will allow it. Only minutes before the hearing Monday, the Justice Department took the unusual step of asking a federal appeals court to remove Boasberg from the case altogether. They said, suffer. We ain't doing shit. At the heart of the issue is Trump's invocation of the Alien Enemies Act, which we unfortunately discussed, and unfortunately we discussed it, but I didn't get it shown on TV, I don't believe, or on the TV, on the computer screen. So you're going to have to read it along with me. If you play it back, just find the act and you can read along with me. I apologize. I'm still learning here, folks. I'm still learning. His ability to deport foreign nationals from countries within the United States when they're at a time of war. Trump issued a proclamation labeling the Trendy Arugulas, a Venezuelan criminal organization, as sufficiently linked to the Venezuelan government to trigger the wartime powers. I don't know what else to do. They purposely did this. They are dumping their criminals on us. Every country that does it should have the same done to them. And they have to send it back. And if they won't, we can put them in Gitmo, or we can send them to El Salvador. Good deal. Boasberg on Saturday ordered the administration to refrain from moving anyone in the country under Trump's claimed authority. Not the authority that I just discussed. You know, it's just claimed. You know, it's not real, folks. It's not real. Why is this not doing what I'm asking? Damn it. Now it's finally sharing. This is Boasberg. Well, here's our Trendy Arugula guys. Man, this first night of streaming to both is just going so dandy. I'm so good at it. Boasberg, the Chief Justice of the Federal District Court in Washington, he's totally cool. He's not partisan, was galled by the government's actions. Only minutes afterwards, the department took the unusual step of asking a federal appeals court to do something. They said, no, because we're wussies and we're not going to do anything. At the heart of the issue is his invocation of the Alien Enemies Act, 1798 statute, as I've said, intended to bolster his power to deport foreign nationals in war. On Sunday, he ordered them to refrain from moving anyone to the country under his claimed authority after 5 Venezuelans who feared deportation under the act filed suit. Dun, dun, dun. Those 5 men apparently have remained in the country. Must be nice. But planes carrying about 250 other ones, they're gone. We go back up here. Here they are. Right here. These are our boys. Sucks to be them. But planes carrying about, many of them, Trendy Arugulas departed from the U.S. shortly before he issued the order. They landed Saturday night in El Salvador, which had agreed to take them for a fee. Because remember, their home country said, we don't even want them, but we're sending them to your country. And we're at it. Look, I don't know what else you call it. We have no diplomatic relations with that country. None. This is a time of war. They're a terrorist group. At moments during the 45-minute hearing, the normally unflappable judge, he was just unflappable. He's a great judge, great jurist. He's a very intelligent man. Raised his voice, rejecting the department's contention that the government had exceptionally urgent needs to move the planes. He implied that the government had intentionally hurried them off the ground on Saturday because the government knew he had scheduled a 5 p.m. hearing Saturday. Any plane you put into the air and around that time, you knew I was having a hearing at 5. With evident frustration. Boasberg also grilled a Department of Justice lawyer. I would have just sat there and been like, and? What are you going to do? Arrest the president? Okay. Yeah, okay. What are they going to do? He grilled him over a key stretch of time on Saturday between the two orders Boasberg issued. In the first order, which he issued orally from the bench. Remember, guys, for an injunction in federal court, you have to write it down. Oral isn't enough. In state court in Alabama, if a judge says it, anybody that's in there and it pertains to them, it's on them. Not in federal court. It's got to be memorialized in writing. About 40 minutes later, he followed up with a written order. Oh, 40 minutes too late. Sorry. The court's electronic docket that lacks some of the detail of his oral directive. Deputy Attorney General Combley, I can't even, whatever, Combley, claimed Monday the government was free to ignore the oral order because you can't. That's a rule. We believe there was no order given. An injunction is not ordered until it is in the written filing. Yeah, look at there. Boasberg, appointment of Obama. Imagine that. That's a heck of a stretch, the judge said. You can't violate the injunction. If you don't like it, you can appeal or seek to modify it. No, it's not in order. Deal with it. He also rejected the DOJ's claim. And remind you, if this had been in reverse, if it had been Obama asking for this, he would have done whatever he wanted. He'd have got on his knees. He wouldn't have cared. He'd have done whatever they wanted. It's not a question that the plane was or wasn't in U.S. airspace. This guy's an idiot. Adding that the power of the courts does not lapse at the water's edge or airspace edge. Actually, it does. That's the funny part about federal jurisdiction and state jurisdiction. It does stop at the border. Imagine that. It doesn't go into Mexico. If it did, people in Mexico would be able to buy guns and know all kinds of cool stuff. But they can't, because why? There's no law there of the United States, unless you're at an embassy. Combley said that the foreign policy concerns related to the operation were paramount. And that's another argument. This is an actual Article 2 issue. The president has super authority over policy, foreign policy. If we allow the courts to do this, that means the courts will take over. They will be dictating whether we go to war, how we go to war, how many bombs are dropped, how many troops go into a battle. This is a lunacy. This is lunacy. This is an example of the lunatics running the asylum. As the hearing neared its conclusion, the judge demanded that the government answer by noon tomorrow. That would have been the 18th, 3 days ago. I don't even think they did. A series of questions about the flight and their passengers and exactly when Trump signed the proclamation. Guys, he doesn't have to sign anything. I don't know where this comes from. The president, he can just go, I want to pardon Jeffrey Epstein. Obviously, it's not going to happen, but they could. Yeah, he's dead. Doesn't matter. He said it. It's done. There is nothing that has to be signed. Joe Biden, if he wanted to pardon everyone and give Fauci his pardon, all he's got to do is say it. That's all Trump had to do. He doesn't have to write it down. I don't know where this comes from. He also ordered the filing of more briefs on the legal arguments in the case. Boasberg told the government lawyers, just to be clear, he'd write down everything he wanted them to address. Well, you should have done it first, ding-a-ling. My oral orders don't seem to carry much weight. Yeah, no, you're right, because the rules of procedure say they don't. You're an idiot. What a complete moron putz. Let's see. Oh, I see what it did. I see what I did. I closed it. Okay. Now I see. It's my fault. I screwed up as usual. So I just did it again. Present, share screen. Yeah, that's what I did. At least I know what I did. Hey, cool. Maybe I didn't screw up the whole time. That would be great. This is again about Boasberg once again. But we see here, oh, we have another great picture. Oh, video. Oh, let's see. See.
So I want to bring in ABC News' Perry Russum for more on this. So, Perry, we know this hearing is underway.
Blah, blah, blah. See these idiots.
You knew in the morning that there would be a hearing at 5 p.m.
Suffer.
So any plane that you put into the air or around that time, you knew that I was having a hearing about. So when I directly told you to turn those planes around, the idea that my written order was pithier so that this could be disregard, that's a heck of a stretch. So pretty strong words from the judge so far today.
Oh, it was so strongly worded.
Eastern.
And about that, the White House said that the judge had no authority really to interfere with the president's conduct on national security and foreign affairs matters. And they're also, again, parsing out this written order versus the verbal order from the judge here, and especially in terms of the geography of it all, where these planes actually were.
Yeah, the White House has been really focused.
Because the president has authority plenary to deal with international stuff, not a court. A court has no authority over this. They have none.
Today on the written order versus the verbal order. They say that the written order is more enforceable than this verbal order.
They're so goddamn stupid. Yes, it's more enforceable. You know why? Because the rules say it is. That's why. But these people are retards and don't care about the truth. They haven't even picked up a book of criminal or civil procedure in their life.
And the judge saying my equitable powers are pretty clear. They do not lapse at the water's edge.
Yeah, they do actually, Judge. Yeah, they do. You need to go back to law school because you're a freaking moron. I'm sure you went to some freaking Ivy League top 30 school because every one of those idiots think, oh, I know everything. I can be anything. And Trump only appoints. Every freaking president does this. All of them. All of them do it. Only will appoint people out of the top law schools. Like all the rest of us are just dumbass retards. Can't do it. I can't do anything. I can't figure out the law. I'm sick of it. And I'm sick of it with Trump doing that. Dude, branch out. Branch out, brother. Hire a country lawyer to be a federal judge or be your assistant AG. Let's do something different. That would be great. So that's what's going on with the trendy Arugula boys. How the White House ignored him. This kills me. A judge is ordered to turn back deportation flights. Let's see. Trump administration says it ignored the court Saturday around 2 plane loads of Venezuelan gang members because the flights were over international waters. What are you going to do? They only have so much fuel. And I'm doing it again. Damn it. Stupid thing keeps not sharing. So it says the Trump administration says it ignored, they're trying to say they ignored a court order with 2 plane loads because the flights were over international waters and the ruling didn't apply. What are they supposed to do? Turn the plane around with not enough fuel? I guess they could just let the pilots jump out. We'll let the guys on board just. I mean, what are they supposed to do? Another country's not going to let them land the fuel. They got freaking gang members on it. Criminals. This is insane. Court order defied. First of many I've been warning, and start of true constitutional crisis, some dumbass said on X. So this is the standard, or this is the status of where we're at in this. I don't even know what to call it. Face off. Orange man bad. Retard. Orange man bad, but correct. Retard on the right. I mean, this has to end. This is insanity. This is utterly insane what they're trying to do. This is the judiciary trying to overtake the U.S. government. They couldn't do it before. Now they're going to do it this time and succeed. All right. Well, it's sundown. I got to go. Y'all have a good weekend. All right. I'll see y'all on Sunday or Saturday night. And we'll go from there. But I hope this gave some idea as to what Trump's powers are. I keep saying Trump. It's not just Trump. It's the president. It's any president. Any president has these powers. Okay. They have the authority. Be that, if you don't like it, go and change the law. Go change it. They can do it. All right. Thanks, y'all. Thanks for staying with us. See you next time.